So how did fallen angels mate with human women when angels are spiritual beings? Very valid question, and I'm going to provide a few of the strong theories and supporting arguments for this, and I want you to let me know which theory makes the most sense, if any. Now, let me preface this by saying I don't know how fallen angels did it, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. Like, there are so many things that I don't understand that are true. Like, for example, I don't understand how God has always existed, but I still believe it. And I don't understand eternity, but I still believe in it. Also, this may be a long video, so if you don't have time to watch it right now, go ahead and save it and watch it later. Okay, that being said, I personally agree with the third theory because there seems to be the most scriptural evidence in my opinion, but definitely let me know what you think. Okay, theory number one is that fallen angels could genetically manipulate humans, potentially with advanced pre-flood technology of some sort. So that is how the fallen angels created hybrid people, demigods and giants, was through this genetic manipulation of some sort. This connects Genesis 6 with transhumanism and end times deception and AI and all of that. And honestly, this theory even ties into alien abduction stories. All of that is a whole separate topic that deserves its own video. So if you're interested in going into that, comment, make the video, or like an alien emoji or something like that, and I'm happy to dive in. But I don't want to go too crazy unless people are down. Okay, theory number two is that fallen angels possessed human men and then reproduced through them. So we all know that possession is a thing, so that's totally a viable option in my opinion, except it leaves me with the question of how was the DNA affected? How was the DNA affected this way? Like something through the possession physiologically changed the male human's DNA maybe? Or once possessed, then they did some DNA manipulation on themselves, then mated with women? It's not super clear in my opinion. Okay, theory number three, and the one that I subscribe to, is that the fallen angels took on their own physical material bodies in order to mate with human women. There is some scriptural backing for this one. It's when the angels appeared in Genesis 18 and 19. So it shows that angels can manifest with physical bodies. In these passages, they appear as men, they eat food, they walk and speak physically. So basically they're saying, who's to say that they can't reproduce when in that form? The second piece of evidence is that ancient readers of scripture wouldn't have been troubled by this possibility because it was the mainstream interpretation at the time. Up until around 160 AD, the unanimous view was that the phrase sons of God was talking about angels. And when the book of Job uses the phrase sons of God, the writer is referencing angels. This is also Josephus's view, who wrote during the time of Jesus. Okay, so there's even a little bit more evidence. The Saint Justin Martyr, who died in 165 AD, explicitly taught that angels fell because they lusted after women, and that they physically fathered children and their offspring became demons after death. So I can go a lot deeper into this subject as well if you're interested, but while he didn't discuss the mechanics, he was under the impression that angels could interact physically. And I will say, it does say in the Bible that angels don't marry. But remember, we're talking about fallen angels here. So they're not opposed to perverting the divine purpose of creation. So if the fallen angels had fully functional biological angel bodies, they were able to mate, and their offspring, the Nephilim, would have been literal genetic hybrids. So this means that this incursion was a literal genetic corruption event of God's creation. Plus, many Christian scholars avoid discussing this because it's super uncomfortable and difficult to explain, which is another sign that it's probably true, at least in my opinion. And side note, the mainstream Christian view today is that the sons of God were the godly men from Seth's line, and they mated with the women from Cain's corrupt line, just so you know. So that's the mainstream interpretation. What I've been talking about is an alternative interpretation. But if that were the case, then how did they produce giants? If they were just two humans producing, how did they produce giants? A seemingly totally different species. Okay, that's enough for now. Please let me know what you think in the comments.